Hello and welcome back to our section on prompt design. In the last video, we played around with ChatGPT, and in this video, we are inside the GPT-3 playground where we're going to learn all about the different parameters that we can use to take control over how GPT-3 will generate a response for us. So let's take a look first at the anatomy of this page. All the parameters you have access to in the playground are available to you if you want to use this via API. You can see it'll actually just generate what you'll need if you want to actually use your prompt and your settings programmatically in an application or something like that. So here is where you'll actually write out your prompt, where GPT-3 will read it and give you a completion. And on the right side of the screen are all of your parameters. We're in completion mode right now. There are a couple other ones in beta, like insertion and editing, but we're going to focus on completion here. You can choose which model you're using. We're in DaVinci right now, which is, according to OpenAI, the most capable model. It's also the most expensive. And there are also Ada, Babbage Curry, which are maybe less expensive models, which might not be as powerful. Let's go into some of these settings. We're not going to cover them all, but temperature is quite an important one. Basically, you can control how creative versus how deterministic GPT-3 will be. If you crank this up closer to 1, it's going to be really creative and a little random. And if you crank it down to 0, it's going to basically say the same thing over and over again. So we'll leave that back at 0.7, but you can play around with this setting. Maximum length is the maximum amount of tokens that it will generate. So if you want the response cell to be short or long, you can control the maximum length. Stop sequence is where you can control when you want it to actually stop. Maybe we'll make it a period for something like that if you only want it to generate one sentence. Let's see here. We won't cover all these in details, but you can incentivize the model to not say the same thing again. You can incentivize it to not repeat things that have been said already. And you can insert start text if you want to have a similar phrase at the beginning of every prompt. As well, you can turn on a debug mode by showing the probabilities, which can be interesting to learn, kind of a little bit of the thought process behind what OpenAI and GPT-3 were thinking when it generated a specific result. So that's the lay of the land, that's the anatomy, that's the parameters that you're going to be able to play around with as you're using GPT-3. In the next video, we're going to start generating some outputs and seeing how it compares with ChatGPT. So I'll see you in the next video on GPT-3.